One night to be confused, one night to speed up truth. We had a promise made, 4 hands and then away, both under influence. We had divine sin to know what to say. Mind is a razor blade to call for hands of above to lean on. Would it be good enough for me? One night of magic rush, the start a simple touch. One night to push and scream, and then relief. 10 days of perfect tears, the colors red and blue. We had a promise made, we were in love. To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me? To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough? And you knew the hand of the devil, and you kept us awake with wolves' teeth, sharing different heartbeats in one love. To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me? To call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough? One night to be confused, one night to speed up truth. We had a promise made, 4 hands and then away, both under influence. We had divine sin to know what to say. Mind is a razor blade to call for hands of above, to lean on. Would it be good enough for me? One night. I've been going down, down into the river, baby. Listen to the sound, something only God knows. You figure it out, I can't stay. Waters in the clouds, is my life about to change? Who knows? Who cares? So we took a van down to Colorado and ran into the den.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Meadows. I want to take a moment to thank you all for being here today to celebrate the marriage of two people who we all love very dearly. I know it means the world to Chloe and David to be surrounded by all of their family and friends today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tyler Foe, and I have the distinct honor of having been friends with both Chloe and David since before they even knew each other. Some might even say I'm responsible for this wedding today. Many others would not. I met David when we were both freshmen at Harvard, and we lived together for the next 3 years after that. Chloe and I met shortly afterwards when we were both on the Harvard Lampoon, a college magazine, together. We both had very important roles on the Lampoon. Chloe was a brilliant and talented writer, and I fixed the internet when it went down. At the time I met her, Chloe already knew 5 of our 6 college roommates. She knew a few from the Lampoon. She had gone to Egypt with another one, as you heard last night. And she was also in a service organization that tutored prisoners in the greater Boston area with another one. There was only one roommate left to meet. Chloe and David's courtship began on February 4th, 2011, at a party hosted on campus for late-night talk show host and noted car aficionado Jay Leno. They were introduced by a group of their mutual friends. David recalls being immediately struck by 2 things during this fateful encounter. First, Chloe's incredible beauty, and second, that she seemed very interested in him. Which, frankly, to me sounded very cocky at the time, but turned out to be true. Chloe, for her part, was similarly struck by David's dashing looks, as befits a high school Abercrombie & Fitch model, and his effortless sense of humor. But the stars didn't align that night, and before they knew it, summer was upon them, and then a new school year had begun. In late September, Chloe and her roommates threw the very confusingly named Retrospect Party, a party which Chloe admitted to me later was partly at least thrown to get David's attention. It worked, and unlike the party's name, their romantic connection was clear and unambiguous. They talked to each other literally the whole night, even ignoring friends' attempts to get a word in. I tried to. Topics ranged from Chloe's thesis to David's high school basketball career, which made multiple appearances, I'm told. The next day, David sent the very first text message of what would be thousands in their relationship to come. It said, "Did you know I played high school basketball?" Chloe and David both knew very quickly that they had found their life partner. Over winter break of that year, they traveled to New York and North Carolina. They met each other's families. They saw each other's hometowns. With Chloe set to graduate, they met their first major challenge, one that would come to define nearly half of their relationship: long distance. Chloe lived and worked in New York while David finished school in Boston. Then David moved to DC, and Chloe stayed in New York. Then David moved to San Francisco, and Chloe was in New York. And Chloe moved to San Francisco, and they both moved back to Boston eventually so Chloe could start law school at Harvard. It was a whirlwind. Despite the distance, both Chloe and David pursued and succeeded in their respective careers. They built new and lasting friendships, and they fortified their own relationship. Leading up to today, I was lucky enough to ask them both about what makes their relationship so strong. David, Chloe considers you courageously honest and attributes the early success of the relationship to your maturity, even from the impressionable age of 20. She loves that you have constantly encouraged her to find happiness on her own 2 feet and never let your fulfillment in life come solely from each other. Chloe, David told me that he feels like the luckiest man in the world to have found you, but it's not luck that holds you together. He is most proud of all the hard work that you've put in over the last 7 years to turn your early infatuation and courtship into a true partnership and lasting love. Chloe, David, I can say with confidence that I've learned as much about life and love from you as from anyone else on earth. I have no doubt that in the years to come, you will face challenges and triumphs of all stripes with grace, humility, and laughter. We'll now hear from 2 of the couple's closest hometown friends. We'll start with Erica Sheffman, a friend of the bride.
On September 23rd, 2011, almost exactly 7 years ago, Chloe staged the infamous party at which she met David. Just over a month later, on November 5th, 2011, I'm sorry, I'm stealing some of I'm going back into the digital archive here, as you did. Chloe G-chatted me that it was official. David was her boyfriend. And just a few weeks later, on November 29th, 2011, Chloe G-chatted me that David, burying his face into a pillow, had mumbled that they may need to drop out of school and hide in his dorm so that no one would find out that they were in love. My response to Chloe was, get married. Joke's on you. G-chat is forever. You're about to be married, and we all know you're in love. Nonstop laughter has been the defining characteristic of my friendship with Chloe, my friendship with David, my friendship with Chloe and David, and the dynamic that has existed between them since day one. I have never seen any other couple communicate in such strange and mutually hilarious ways. They have their own language and their own sounds and their own laughs. David meets Chloe's unparalleled lampoon wit with expressive physicality and killer wordplay. From the beginning, they have been skillful and loving communicators, giving each other instant comfort at all hours of the day, and never letting the other feel distant, even from the most remote corners of the country. From watching them over the last 7 years, I'm confident that the recipe for success in a long-term relationship is to find the person that you have more fun with than anyone else in the world. This is who Chloe and David are for each other. And as a result, all of our lives are full of love, energy, and laughter. For today's ceremony, it didn't feel right to read as tradition dictates from Shakespeare or even Dr. Seuss. Instead, I would like to present, in its US premiere, an original adaptation of a theme song that we all know and love by the lyricist Marta Kaufman, which I have written in celebration of the daily reminder they give all of us not to take ourselves too seriously, and the commitment to each other that I know Chloe and David will continue to share, as they have from the very first week that they were together. Please just go with me as I channel my very best inner Phoebe Buffay. I'll be there for you, like I've been there before. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you when your plane's been delayed and you've missed the last train, when life is threatening to drive you insane, when you're choosing a law school and you need to keep cool, when you're switching your career and you need someone to cheer, when your coffee's too cool and your virgin cocktail too warm, when the forecast said, fine, but you're out in a storm, when the stress of the day breaks you out in hives and you're just out there trying to survive, when you want to sing karaoke and dance like a Langowski, when you need someone to find literally everything you say hilarious, when arguably your humor is at times precarious. When you need someone to walk right by your side and travel with you far and wide. When you take a date to Russell House and suddenly, 7 years later, they're your spouse. Someone to face the day with, make it through all the rest with, someone you'll always laugh with, I'll be there for you. To conclude, I will in fact leave you with the wiser and more appropriate words of William Shakespeare. With mirth and laughter, let old wrinkles come.
We'll now hear from Vahid, who's a friend of David's.
Vahid and David had always sounded so nice together. I grew up with David. He was the drummer of our high school band. And I cannot think of a single more accurate and very literal application of the phrase, march to the beat of your own drum. Indeed, there were times when a song had long ended, but David felt they were not done yet. Still going, just a little more drums. He was always there to deliver those extra beats we never asked for and never needed. Then he left North Carolina for some school in Boston, and not long after that he met Chloe. As others have noted, something began to change in his demeanor, and it took me a while to name it. He seemed so much more sure of himself. But it wasn't until I met Chloe for the first time that I understood what was happening. The change in David was his sense of home. He and Chloe have at times lived close to each other, and at other times have lived far apart. But I could tell that with this love, they were beginning to build a home that they could both rely on. They bring this love, this home with them wherever they are, and when you spend just a few minutes around them, it makes sense that they could be on opposite sides of the country but completely at peace. My wish for them is that as their relationship grows and evolves, they make additions to this home. In their careers and personal lives, they are both sources of energy, strength, and wisdom for many people. Under the same roof, it doesn't seem like there's a lot they can't accomplish. In this marriage, it is now time to expand this home so they can be even stronger sources of light and service for the world. In this marriage, their love can be a source of love for those that need it. We all look forward to watching this grow, and we thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Erica and Vahid. I'm now honored to introduce the father of the groom, Dr. Enrique Lopez Claras, who will give us an introduction to the Baha'i faith and lead us in the Baha'i marriage ceremony.
So, once again, very welcome to all of you. Many of you have traveled from so far, from Anchorage, Alaska, from Vancouver, from many, many places. So we're so delighted to welcome all of you. And today promises to be a beautiful day in continuation of the welcoming dinner that we had last night. So, Chloe and David have chosen to marry according to Baha'i law. And so, for those of you that are not familiar with the Baha'i faith, I should tell you a little bit about the Baha'i faith. The Baha'i faith is an independent world religion that appeared in Iran in the year 1844. It teaches that there's only one God. The Baha'i faith teaches that there's only one God, and that religion is essentially one, and mankind is essentially one. And that through the years, through the history of mankind, God has been sending us divine teachers, and that these teachers are are promoting different levels of unity. These divine teachers have been responsible for the unity of a family, and families into tribes, and tribes into city-states, and city-states into nations. And now the Baha'i faith is saying that the world is approaching its maturity. As strange as that may sound, but there's so much technology, so much movement in the world, that the world is becoming a small neighborhood. And now we are approaching a time in which we could bring about the world, the unity of mankind. That all the countries in the world may live in peace. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, taught that the world is one country and mankind its citizens. All the principles of the Baha'i faith are in support of this great principle, the principle of the unity of mankind. And the principle of unity brings us back to Chloe and David. According to Baha'i law, Chloe and David have obtained consent to marry from their parents. So from the beginning, we have the unity of two families in complete accord. In front of you and in front of witnesses, they will recite a specific verse as their required wedding vow. Additionally, they've chosen a prayer for their marriage and a reading from the sacred writings of the Baha'i faith. Also, while this is a very joyous occasion, the bride and the groom wish to remember a very few dearly loved souls who passed on. In particular, we remember Chloe's dear friend, Wendy Cheng, Chloe's grandmother, Mary Paul Chartrand, her aunt, Kim Chernui, and David's mother, Dr. Kristen Lingoski. For all of them, a special prayer for the departed has been selected. So now we'll begin with a prayer for the wedding prayer.
O my Lord, these two bright orbs are wedded in thy love, conjoined in servitude to thy holy threshold, united in ministering to thy cause. Make thou this marriage to be as threading lights of thine abounding grace, O my Lord, the all-merciful, the luminous rays of thy bestowals, O thou the beneficent, the ever-giving, that there may branch out from these great tree boughs that will grow green and flourishing through the gifts that rain down from thy clouds of grace. Verily, thou art the generous. Verily, thou art the almighty. Verily, thou art the compassionate, the all-merciful.
O my God, O forgiver of sins and dispeller of afflictions, O thou who art pardoning and merciful, I raise my suppliant hands to thee, tearfully beseeching the court of thy divine essence to forgive through thy mercy and pardon, thy handmaiden who hath ascended unto the seat of truth. Cause her, O Lord, to be overshadowed by the clouds of thy bounty and favor. Immerse her in the ocean of thy forgiveness and clemency, and enable her to enter the sanctified abode, thy heavenly paradise. Thou art verily the mighty, the compassionate, the generous, the merciful.
In true Baha'i marriage, the two parties must become fully united, both spiritually and physically, so that they may attain eternal union throughout all the worlds of God and improve the spiritual life of each other. This is Baha'i matrimony. Wed thou in the heaven of thy mercy these two birds of the nest of thy love, and make them the means of attracting perpetual grace, that from the union of these two seas of love, a wave of tenderness may surge and cast the pearls of pure and goodly issue on the shore of life.
Thank you. Chloe and David would now like to express themselves to one another and exchange their own vows. Chloe, go ahead.
I love that we're coming here today with nothing to say that hasn't already been said, nothing to promise that hasn't already been promised. This might take like 30 minutes. And nothing to give that hasn't already been given. Over the past 7 years, I have been amazed every day at my incredible fortune for being with someone. I just can't look at you. So forgive me. And for being with someone who loves so openly, honestly, and unconditionally. Someone who I could grow up completely intertwined with, but who always makes sure we're growing as individuals too. Someone who would pour themselves into building a relationship based on mutual support, humor, and freely given affection. A relationship that is constantly transforming into something stronger, deeper, and more beautiful than I ever thought possible. I am overwhelmed by the number of things I want to express to you today, David. That I'm constantly inspired by and grateful for your desire to learn new things, your ability to self-reflect, your commitment to our families, your intelligence, your perspective on life, the way you push me and challenge me without ever making me feel like I'm not enough. That I cherish your wit, your warmth, your constant support, your dance moves, your stubbornness, our bickering, the way you comfort me when I've had a bad day. That I want to soak up everything about you. I want to be there to take care of you on your worst day and celebrate you on your best and just hang out and laugh and maybe cook some dinner or something on all the medium days in between. I just want to make you understand how much I love you and how deeply grateful I am for everything that we built together. It comes as a great comfort to me to know that you already know all of that. So I'm going to vow one thing today, to make sure that you always know that there is never something that hasn't been said, hasn't been promised, hasn't been given. Life is unpredictable, and I don't know what we'll face, but I know that we'll face it together, protect each other, push each other, amuse each other, and love each other. Because at the end of the day, being with you feels as natural to me as being myself. You're a part of me, David. You have been for years, and you always will be.
Your turn, David.
Chloe, as Jim so eloquently put last night, we're finally here. It seems like not too long ago when we thought, this could happen, which quickly changed to, it'll probably happen, which then changed again to, I am absolutely going to marry this person. Standing here at this moment feels like both an obvious inevitability and a miracle, all at the same time. And as I reflect on how we got here and what started it all, the same amazing qualities that I first fell in love with almost 7 years ago are the same ones that have kept me entranced. You're intelligent in both a flashy academic way, but also have a sense of wisdom and practicality. You're hilarious, and I'm always struggling to keep up with your profound sense of humor. You have an extremely intense work ethic, which will always inspire me, and truthfully, I'm not sure that I'll ever really be able to comprehend it. You somehow have boundless kindness for everyone around you, even when it's not easy. And your beauty, of course, complete with stunning green eyes that can somehow be fiery and loving simultaneously. These things were obvious to me within the first few days of our courtship, and in the words of Common, it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. That was good. Since we met, basking in your sunshine and light has brought me not just unabashed joy, but also helped me to make me so much more than I was. Since then, our love has grown so far beyond what I thought was possible. The love I have for you is absolute and unconditional. At times, it's overwhelming. It's thrilling, but somehow safe. And it's always growing. And as we move to the next chapter of our lives, I can't wait to see how our love will grow and what new form it may take. And one of the things I so cherish about our love is that we met when we were very young, and we've had a chance to not just grow together, but grow up together. While we always respect and accept one another as individuals, we're active in each other's journeys. Specifically, I've always been so awestruck by your ability to challenge me to demand more of myself, to be a better version of myself, while at the same time making me feel so loved, safe, and accepted. I vow to do the same for you while accepting those things that cannot change. You believed in me when I had so much trouble believing in myself. I vow to believe in you unfailingly throughout all the years of our lives and beyond. I vow to treat you as my equal and to be your true partner and to put your happiness and the happiness of our families before my own. I know marriage and relationships are hard, and we've worked really hard over the past 7 years to build what we have. But if I'm being honest, working really hard for you and us has always been so easy. It has never been anything that I've had to think twice about. It's become a constant I can never live without. Of course, I know our hardest times lay ahead, and because of this, I vow to not only work, but also fight my hardest for our families, for you, for me, and for us, through it all, always.
rings, please, Robert? Thank you. Chloe and David, these rings are a symbol of the vows you have just made to each other. They should always be a reminder of your friendship, your love, and your dedication to one another. Chloe, please repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
and ask you to wear it
and ask you to wear it
as a symbol of our love and commitment.
as a symbol of our love and commitment.
David, please repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
and ask you to wear it
and ask you to wear it
as a symbol of our love and commitment.
as a symbol of our love and commitment.
For just a moment, both of you, please take in your beautiful surroundings and the outpouring of love from all those assembled here today. We admire you. We are so proud of the people you are, and we can't wait to see what lies ahead for you both in the many years to come. Chloe and David, with your family and friends as witnesses, you have read your vows, you have declared your love for one another, and you have reaffirmed the everlasting bond between you. By the power vested in me by the two of you, I now pronounce you husband and wife.